I'm Martha Walchuk. I work for a company called Salesforce. Anybody in this room familiar with Salesforce? Okay. There's a giant tower in the sky. If not, just look up. I am lucky to work on our customer service products, and I look after our AI solutions and after the agent experience. And so just to get an understanding of, you've said you're familiar with Salesforce, how many folks in the room, are there any service leaders in the room? Okay, great. Any of you IT leaders that work with the service side of the business? Okay, a few hands. I like to do this, make sure you're still awake. I like to ask questions, so forgive me in advance. Developers, admins, any type of solutions? Okay. Who else is in the room? If I didn't call one of those groups, what group do you work in your organization? Marketing, great, okay. Interesting blend to service. Anybody else? Product management, great, okay. Welcome. Customer success, amazing. All right, well, the good thing is service is really relevant for all of us, no matter what you do or where you work. You're either related to it in your company, where you might be thinking about how you're impacting that customer experience, or you are a customer of many companies, and I'm sure you care about the service that they deliver. And that's what we're going to spend a little bit of time today and talk about, the transformation that we're seeing happen in service. Quick note from our lawyers, they really like to get involved in all presentations. We are going to talk about some things that are forward-looking, so make any purchase decisions based on what's available today. But with that, why are we here? Why Salesforce here? We are a strategic partner with Google, and together we are thinking about how we make it really easy for our joint customers to build better solutions for their customers across the entire journey of the customer experience. Everything from helping marketers be more effective in their targeting with Marketing Cloud and Sales Cloud and the Google Analytics platform, to helping companies be more productive with tight integrations between the G Suite and the Salesforce platform. And something we're excited to talk about this week, and you're going to hear more throughout the next couple of days, is our integration with Google Contact Center AI and our Service and Einstein AI solutions. Together, we're really thinking about how can we empower companies to transform service. And it's a really interesting time because we talk about this a lot, the fourth industrial revolution, which means everything and everyone is more connected. And that means it is a pivotal time for the world of service. In the past, any interaction that happened with service was typically after a product was purchased or after a sale was made. But now what we're seeing is that service is integrated with every part of the customer journey. So whether that means you're trying to figure out which subscription service for streaming TV is the right one, you're probably going to contact service, and that's how you're going to find that answer. Or if you're making an order, you want to make sure that that shipment arrives in time for that birthday or any big event, you're going to contact service. And what we're seeing is that every time a customer has an interaction with a company, they expect it to be personal. They expect it to be fast and easy. And every time they have a great experience, that's amazing. It just raises the bar, not only for every interaction they have after that across the company, but for every other company they do business with. So your direct competitors that you might think of are not your only competitors anymore. We're all competing against the Amazons of the world that are creating these really fast, easy, personal experiences for their customers. And it's not only that trend. We're looking at trends across the industry that you can tap into, whether you're in IT or if you're leading service. Like, how can you capitalize and take advantage of the opportunity that's before us? And there are these 4 trends we're going to talk through today. The first is really around integration. And when I travel and I talk to service leaders and IT leaders, this is the #1 thing that they say they struggle with. integration, because it's really difficult to create a great customer experience if you can't connect all of the pieces of how that customer is interacting with you. If you have data that's in silos, it really impacts the customer experience. You definitely have holes. And if you have gaps in the data, then it's really difficult to apply automation and AI to it. And then the third trend is really around digital channels. How many of you use not only phone, but maybe text or some kind of messaging app, as well as email? Use 3 or more channels if you are reaching out to a company for information or support. A lot of hands in the room. That is a daunting task for a lot of organizations. And that's just a few channels, and they continue to grow. There are more channels introduced all the time. So big opportunity to embrace the change and create a consistent experience for customers across those. Today, I don't know if you experience this, I experience it a lot. If I call, I get one answer. If I'm in the store, I get another answer. If I email, I might get another answer. And that breaks my trust with companies that I'm doing business with. It's hard to know who to trust, what the right answer is. And then the fourth trend is around the changing workforce. 80% of the workforce doesn't sit at a desk today. All of you in this room, are you working today? Yeah? But you're not at a desk. I know you're still working. And that's just one interesting element that we're seeing come to life, is that where the workforce is working is shifting, and there's a big opportunity for companies there to rethink how they're empowering employees in that space. And that's what we're going to unpack today. We're going to talk a little bit about how, across these 4 chapters, you can think about transforming service, how you can connect every system, how you can embrace automation and AI, how you can embrace the explosion of digital channels, and really elevate the workforce to be more productive when they are face-to-face with your customers. So to do that, you need a platform that can set you up for the service transformation. And that's what Salesforce is all about. We do have the leading platform for service by analysts and from our customers. And what's really unique about our platform is that we bring together customer service, self-service, all those digital channels, and support for all those employees that may not sit behind a desk, all on one platform. And we build automation and AI right into the platform, so it's embedded in the experiences for both customers and agents and mobile employees alike. A great example, a company called Marriott, you may or may not be familiar with that brand. They're using our service platform and the broader suite of tools from Salesforce to really reimagine and be a leader in the travel and hospitality industry. They're transforming that experience so that as a guest, if you walk into a hotel here in San Francisco or anywhere around the world, they recognize who you are. They know, for me, I like extra fluffy pillows and I need a lot of them. And they remember those type of preferences for their guests. And they can empower their associates to deliver those kind of experiences because they can surface all of that information off of one platform. So let's dive in and unpack each of these 4. And we're going to spend a little time. We do have a demo to show you. And then we'll save a couple minutes at the end for questions. Sound good? Yes. OK. See the excitement. The first step in this journey of transformation is really about connecting service to the rest of your business. Why? Well, because you need to connect all of those different systems so that you have a complete view of who your customer is. But if this were really easy, we'd all be doing it. We could go home. We could go to the beach. We could have a great day instead. But this is really difficult to do. Again, talking to leaders, there is a big gap in being able to easily bring this picture together. You can imagine, probably somebody over here said they were in marketing. You're probably using a different system that you're marketing out of than the team that's supporting your customers. The tool that they're using is different. And when you add all these different systems together, it becomes really complicated very fast. And this has really been core to our strategy since the beginning. It's all about the platform. This customer success platform is what we have built our market-leading sales, service, commerce, marketing applications on so that you can bring that entire view of your customer into one. You can center your business, every department around your company, around the customer, which is pretty impactful. But our customers also asked us to go one step further. You've got data living in silos. You've got data in third-party systems. How can you bring that easily into the picture? And that is the power of the MuleSoft Anypoint platform. We made that acquisition about a year ago, and what it comes with is a set of pre-built connectors to there are several hundred of those that connect to lots of different backend systems, but it's also the ability to build new API and connectors to other systems and then reuse those assets. It's a really powerful tool that allows a company to bring in all of their departments and all of that data that surrounds those legacy applications into one. So now that you've brought all of that data together, job well done, you need to surface it in the right set of tools for the agent. So they not only have that complete set of, that complete view of the customer, but also the tools to act on that complete view. And that's the power of the Lightning Service Console. This is built on our Lightning platform, which means it's easy to configure and customize no matter what type of business you're in. If you're in a business where you get a high volume of interactions and questions from your customers, things like, where is my order? Can you help me reset my password? This console can be configured for you. If you're in a business where you handle highly complex cases, where maybe an issue takes a lot of troubleshooting, it may take days or weeks to solve those type of cases, passing between different teams who need different information, you can configure the console for that use case. If you're in a highly regulated industry where you're dealing with a lot of complexity, say financial services, if somebody has had their identity stolen, you can configure the console to support your agents in really focusing on the customer, giving them the right information and the tools at the right time. And we're making this experience available for customers of any size with our Essentials product. We have learned from all the best practices of working with companies of all sizes on how they've built solutions to transform their customer experience, and we bring that into Essentials, which is a great place to start if you have a support team that's, say, 5 or 10 people, and you're just getting going. All right, so we've talked about the first step of connecting your entire company, and now let's delve into everybody's favorite topic, the world of automation and AI. Because the way we think about automation and AI is really about empowering the employees of your company, of any company, to have the right information to really focus on the customer. But this is very difficult for companies to do today and do it in a very scalable way. How many of you in the last week or two have contacted support for any issue whatsoever? A lot of hands. Think about, have you ever taken a minute and thought about that human on the other side of that interaction? As much as they are frustrating you, what I've found in sitting with agents in the contact center is they feel equally frustrated. They have to spend a lot of time toggling between multiple windows, searching for the right information, trying to build together what's the right step that I should take, having to manually enter data into fields. And all of this takes a lot of time. And that time not only impacts the agent's productivity, but it impacts their ability to really focus on the customer. And I've got a couple interesting examples of how this is shifting even further, in the sense that now when you contact a company, you probably expect them to not only know exactly who you are, but anticipate your question and be able to answer it. For a lot of companies, this is difficult. When I was in Atlanta, I met with a service leader who they support a company that has over 1 million different product lines. And you can imagine that their customers have questions about every one of those 1 million products. So it's really difficult for an agent to keep up to speed and have all the answers for every one of those products that customers might have questions about. And this is where we see AI coming into play, to be really in support of the agent. Because agents themselves, we've done some research, and they say 72% of their interactions are moving beyond that transaction into being more relationship-based, which means that companies need to invest in the technology that can handle that those lower level tasks, searching for information or manually putting in data into fields, so that agents can do what they do best. They can focus on the customer and really focus on that human side of service. And we're building that right into the platform to make it easy for our customers to, out of the box, take advantage of those capabilities. And the way we see it working is really, it starts with automating common service interactions that happen all the time and building those into your self-service experience. So those of you that are IT leaders in the room, this is a great opportunity to partner with and guide the business. Look at what are the top 20 questions that come into the contact center that agents are answering day in and day out. And how can you bring those right into self-service? Well, a couple of ways that we've seen our customers do this is by embedding process automation into the self-service experience. Make it easy for customers to be guided step by step with technology for how to sign up for a loyalty program or change information in their account. And you can do that with automation tools like Lightning Flow. And then you can bring that same experience into every conversation, engage customers across channels by building Einstein bots, our AI chatbots, right into the channels your customers use most to engage them, give them fast answers. You can declaratively build them once, and deploy them across multiple channels. Something interesting that we're really excited about this week is that we're partnering with Google Dialogflow to bring our Einstein Bots platform and Google Dialogflow together. And what this allows is for our customers to use all the goodness of Einstein Bots on the Salesforce platform, so learning from the rich customer data that's there, using those declarative tools to create these type of experiences, and also bringing in the advanced NLP capabilities of Dialogflow to do things like deploy that same experience in 20 more languages across the globe, so supporting customers all over the world, whether that's Japanese or Polish. So we're really excited about that, and you're going to hear more about that in tomorrow morning's keynote. And there's also a spotlight session with Hulu tomorrow afternoon as well. Now, at the end of the day, AI and automation can handle a lot of things, but they cannot handle everything. They are no replacement for that human-to-human interaction. But here's where AI and automation can really come in support of the agent. Doing things like, often when a customer contacts a company, there might be a form that you fill out, and you have to put in some information like name, what type of product or service are you asking about, what is it that you need? Anybody filled out one of those forms before? Yep. You can replace that with a more engaging experience with bots that can gather that information and then seamlessly hand it to the right agent to help that customer. And actually, we've had customers who have deployed Einstein bots, and what we're seeing is that it's this combination of AI and that human element that customers are seeing huge impacts on customer satisfaction, because the bot can help answer those very short, quick things or gather the right information, and then the human is prepared. There's no more asking the customer to repeat the things that they've already said. That handoff is seamless. So we've got customers that are seeing the most success by bringing these two together. Now that that was step one, kind of automating those common questions. Now, if you think about it, if you're handling those top 10 things very easily in a self-service experience or on digital channels, now agents are being tasked with more and more complex questions. And here is where AI can come in, again, in support of the agent. So thinking about things like if you're facing a more complex case, eliminating the manual work. We can use AI and machine learning to look at past cases, compare them, figure out what the context of the case may be, pre-fill those fields, and save the agent from having to do manual work. We do that with Einstein case classification. And then we use, again, Lightning Flow. I talked about it in that customer use case. You can bring that into the agent experience. This is particularly important for any regulated industry where you have to make sure that your agents are sticking to a script, or you have compliance reasons. You need to make sure that every box is checked and you've got the right data. Flow can help by guiding an agent step by step through the tasks that they need to do. This is also really great for onboarding new folks. So if you think about the time it takes to onboard a new agent, and the contact center is a place with a fair amount of agent turnover, you have a lot of retraining you have to do. And when you can guide agents step by step through the process, that training time is immediately, decreased. That's what I was saying. All right, and then the other interesting thing that we're seeing happen a lot of times in contact centers, the agents, it's up to them to know what the right offers are. Is this the right time? Are these the right ones for this customer? The onus falls entirely on the agent and on their experience for what to do next. And here's another place where we're bringing together the combination of business process and predictive models to surface for the agent at the right time what is the next best action they should take. Now, that could be anything from a cross-sell and upsell opportunity. Is there another product that they should offer at this point in time? Is there a loyalty offer they should hand over to the customer at that moment? Or what is the right process that they should follow to have the most impact on getting that case resolved faster? And that's the power of Einstein Next Best Action, is kind of bringing those business rules and predictive models so that agents can really maximize the impact that they have on the customer experience in every interaction that they have. Now, the last element here that we're excited this week to show, and you'll see it in more detail tomorrow, is around our partnership with Google Contact Center AI. So we're bringing together the power of Contact Center AI for streaming voice calls into the contact center. With Google Agent Assist, that's tapping into the phone stream while an agent is talking to a customer to hear what they're saying. They can transcribe the call and surface recommendations in real time to an agent as the conversation changes. So if you think about, especially if you're trying to troubleshoot, or you have a number of things you're trying to clear up if you're on the phone, if you're anything like me, if I am calling support, I'm getting every question answered that I can when I'm on the phone because I'm not calling again. And so this is really powerful for agents because no longer are they worried about, am I capturing all the right data? Am I writing down everything the customer is saying? They can really listen, actively listen, focus on that customer experience, and they're surface the right knowledge articles at the right time. But it's not all about the technology. The other really crucial element when you think about automation and AI is the workforce, and how do you train them? How do you train them to deal with new technology, but also with the new skills that they need for the fourth industrial revolution, right? So we do a couple of things. Has anybody heard of Trailhead before? Anybody taken any trails? Got a couple of hands. So Trailhead is our online learning platform. It's how a lot of folks learn how to use Salesforce. And we've made it with myTrailhead so that every company can build their own trails so that their agents can learn what it means to be the face of your brand. And we're going beyond that by building soft skills trails for agents. How to de-escalate a tough conversation, how to build a relationship with a customer. And this is available for everyone, for all of you in the room. We're doing a couple of other things as well. We've created an agent community so that agents can connect with and learn from each other, grow their careers, learn from thought leaders. And we're running best practice workshops in partnership with some of our customers around the country that are skill building workshops to build more skills for managers and supervisors and agents in dealing with new technology. So if you're interested in any of those, let me know after the show. All right, so we've talked a lot about connecting the business. We have talked about bringing automation and AI in, but what do you say? Should we see something? Should we not more look at slides? Let's look at a demo. What do you say? Yes? All right, great. So Purvi Desai, take it away.
Great. Can you Great. So I'm here today to talk to you about a customer of ours, LendingTree. How many of you are familiar with LendingTree? Okay, so they're disrupting their market because they're taking the power and they're putting it back into the hands of the customer. And they're partnering with Salesforce to really automate and create intelligent service experiences for their customers, and they're empowering their agents with the tools and the skills that they need to deliver a differentiated customer service experience, thus ultimately setting their brand apart. So let's dive into a demo about a first-time homebuyer named Annika. So Annika just received her home loan offers, and it's perfect timing because she's on her way to go visit her realtor. So while she's on the train, she opens up her offers, and she's looking through those. With Salesforce Marketing Cloud, LendingTree can build one-to-one marketing journeys. So based on customer attributes, based on their activity, and they can serve up the right content at the right time. As you can see here, LendingTree is suggesting a chat for Annika to help her with her loan offers, so she can go ahead and start that chat. And when she does, she is greeted into a conversation with a chatbot. Now, LendingTree is working with Salesforce to build rich and automated service experiences like this to help their customers with simple questions. And the best thing about this is that you can build this experience once, and you can deploy it to any channel, whether that's a messaging channel like this one, or even or chat channel like this one, or even messaging channels like Apple Business Chat. So we can see here, it knows who Annika is. It's referencing her home loan offers because this chatbot is native to the Salesforce platform. It was built in the Salesforce platform, so it has access to all of that CRM data. So it's asking her if she needs any help with her offers, but she has a question, so she simply asks. And when she does, Einstein AI is at work here. Using natural language processing, it's parsing her question, and it's responding back with a helpful knowledge article. Next, it's going to serve up a menu of options. Now, Annika needs some help trying to figure out what home loan offer is the best for her, so she'll go ahead and select that option. And when she does, the bot executes a process flow that's going to walk her through step by step to get to a few lenders that would be good for her. So the first thing it asks is if she wants a 15 or 30-year loan term. But again, not sure, so she asks for a recommendation. And now she is transferred to a LendingTree associate. So why don't we check in with our LendingTree associate, Callan? Here, we're looking at the Lightning Service Console. Let's take a look at the top of the screen. Notice how he's working on a case, multiple chats like this one, and even text messaging channels. Because here's the thing about messaging. It's asynchronous. He can go in and out of those conversations, and he can be more efficient with his time. And based on his skill set and his availability, he's been routed this conversation with Annika. So when he goes ahead and he accepts that case, he has everything he needs in one place. So let's take a look at the left-hand side of the screen. Here we see he has Annika's complete profile, and if we scroll even further, we see that he has that same view of those loan offers she has. But this data doesn't live in Salesforce. So how is it here in Callan's view? Well, with MuleSoft, LendingTree can build APIs and integration assets once, and then deploy them across and reuse them for future IT projects, making it even easier to create that one complete view of the customer. And here's something that's actually pretty interesting. LendingTree saw a decrease of 65% in their development time by using MuleSoft pre-built connectors. Imagine what you can do with that gain in productivity. All right, let's take a look at the center of the screen. Here we see there was a seamless handoff from the bot. So Callan can read through this conversation, he's up to speed, knows what the bot and Annika talked to, and he could jump right in. Using quick text, he quickly lets her know that he is on top of it. So he can answer her question. He has knowledge articles on the right that are going to help him, but he's an expert in home loans, so he just goes ahead and answers that, and that's why he was routed this case. Now, after answering that question for her, he asks her if she wants to continue deciding between her home loan offers. And she does, so he's going to go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at the left-hand side of the screen, and we see the guided action list. Now, this is going to surface a list of actions that Callan can take that will help him help Annika. We even see that process that the bot started previously that we can just seamlessly pick up and start over, or keep going with. So we know that she wants a 30-year loan term, so he'll go ahead and select that. And now he's going to walk through step by step, narrowing down the answers, or asking Annika some questions to help her narrow down her choice on lenders. Now you can build rich and dynamic processes like this one with Lightning Flow. And you can embed these processes right here in the agent console, or you can even embed them for your customers in a self-service portal. So he's rocking and rolling. He's getting through these steps, helping Annika. And there, great, we have our answer. Bright Bank and Cloud Bank. Those are the ones for her. But we're not done. Let's take a look at the left-hand side of the screen. Einstein Next Best Action is coaching Callan, telling him, recommending that he schedule up a follow-up call for Annika. And this is, making him proactive and helping him. So he can go ahead and accept that and schedule this. And this really makes Callan the hero of the day, because LendingTree is empowering him with a unified console, automation, and AI, so he can focus on the conversation with Annika. And that's really what LendingTree is doing with Service Cloud. They're creating intelligent and easy interactions for their customers, and they're empowering their agents to deliver a differentiated customer service experience. And with that, I'd like to hand it back over to Martha to talk to us about how we can personalize across digital channels. Thank you.
Thanks. So we've talked about the first step of bringing everything together. We've talked about building automation and AI into experiences for both customers and for agents. And now it's time to talk about the world of digital, which keeps changing. A few years ago, when customers would reach out to service organizations, they may have emailed, they might have called, maybe they submitted a form on the website. The company was always in control. Anybody remember those days where you missed the window of calling between 8 to 5 and there were no other options for contacting support? You were left to wait until the next day? I still see that sometimes, and I have heartburn when it happens, because if I need help then. And that's where customers today have a lot more choice than they had before. And they expect that the experience across all of these channels will be personalized. And it will be consistent no matter how they're reaching out to the company. And the average today is that customers have 10 different channels that they reach out to companies on, which makes this especially challenging, especially as new channels emerge. So how do you embrace the challenge to drive consistency across these channels? Well, that's where you need a conversational platform that really brings all of this together, unifying self-service with all of those digital channels and bringing in AI-powered bots to create consistency and lift across all the conversations that are happening. The first place to start is thinking about self-service. It's really a natural extension of any website where you can surface not only knowledge articles and answers, but business process. Think of this as any portal experience that you may have created. And with the platform, you can build very rich and dynamic experiences. We've got new CMS capabilities that mean you can bring beautiful visual images and build those very quickly. And again, the ability to bring Lightning Flow, or that step-by-step guidance around business process, right into the self-service experience. And then you can extend that into all of the digital channels that customers use today. You saw chat in the demo. Other things like SMS, this is a super powerful and popular channel. In fact, we found that when companies put a button to allow their customers to message them on their 800 number or any other number, 50% of customers automatically switch to that button. It is half the cost to support customers on the SMS channel. And it's a critical way to not only reduce costs, but it's instant for the customer. So it's a better experience for them overall, and they have that expectation now that you'll serve them. So one question I get all the time is like, okay, this is great, lots of channels, I know they're there, but there's complexity that comes with adding those channels. So how should I start? Which ones should I think about? And another call out for folks in the IT audience here, do a channel check with your business partner, whether that's marketing or service. look at how your customers are visiting your website. Is it on a mobile browser? Is it on a mobile phone? So that you can think about where's the best place to optimize for channels. What channels are customers using today when they call you? What types of devices? So doing that channel check will give you some line of sight to where is the right place to start in driving a consistent experience. And as customers turn on new channels, this is another place where I hear a lot of fear around, well, if I open up chat or if I open up SMS, yes, it might reduce some costs and create some deflection for me. However, there's going to be a higher volume. And that's where AI can come into play. Bots are a great way to create a buffer and work in support of your agents as you unlock new channels to answer those common questions that are frequently flooding the contact center. Use AI as a way of solving those type of common requests, or again, gathering the right information so that when conversations are in the hands of an agent, they can be more efficient and effective with that. And again, I talked about our customers that are using both are really reaping the highest rewards around both customer satisfaction, but around efficiencies for the business as well. And the power of our bots platform, along with the combination of the integration with Dialogflow, is that we have an entire builder experience that allows you to build these once and deploy them across multiple channels. So you're reusing that work. And now with Dialogflow being able to support a broader set of use cases for countries around the world, for your global customers. All right. So we talked a little bit about channels, we talked about AI, and now it's time to talk about what may be, I know it's my favorite topic, but probably the most forgotten group across a lot of companies, the mobile workforce. This is one place where the tools and the technology for mobile workers is what gets overlooked the most often. And everything that we've talked about today, from empowering agents with a console and productivity tools and AI, all of that can apply for the mobile workforce. Because field service is definitely changing and evolving. So it is not only that traditional tech in the field that has a hard hat and they're fixing some type of equipment. It's across every industry, whether it's that home health nurse that's going to meet a patient to help give them the right medicine and the right care, or a wealth advisor who's going to meet a customer to help them plan for retirement. They need the right tools and the right information so that they can really help the customer and walk them through what the right steps are, because your mobile workers are really the face of any brand. And this is where we're seeing a lot of opportunity for disruption in the industry, where any company that is going from pen and paper to a digital experience, they are blowing their competitors out of the water, because now that rep or that technician or that home health worker has the right information to really care and focus on the customer. And what we're doing and why we're so excited is we're investing in our field service product to empower those frontline employees with the right information. And not only the frontline employees, but the dispatchers who look at scheduling those appointments and send them out into the field. This is of great excitement for me. Before I worked at Salesforce, I worked for a trucking company, and I used to dispatch truck drivers. And I can tell you many tales about my time there, but I remember sitting behind that desk, and customers would call one after the other. Where is my driver? They are late. When are they going to get here? And I had, other than the radio in my hand, I had no way of proactively letting the customer know that the technician or the deliverer was going to be late, and I was stuck. And now we're unlocking the capabilities with our field service platform to do things like predict the travel time and reshuffle the work, maybe get a different technician or driver there to meet on site with the customer. The other thing we're doing is enabling technicians or any mobile worker with the right step-by-step guidance they need, whether that's installing a part or meeting with a patient and doing all the vital checks that they need to do with our process automation capabilities. So we talked about putting that into the customer experience. We talked about putting that into the agent experience. And now you can bring that same level of customization and embed it right in the mobile app for mobile workers so that they can step-by-step adhere to process, make sure the safety checks are done appropriately, and complete the job the first time. And then the last element is really around connected devices. So how do you surface that information to allow teams to be more proactive and productive, get the right person there at the right time to do the job the first time? So with that, we've gone through our kind of 4 sections. We've talked about connecting service. We have talked about empowering the team with automation and AI and education. We have talked about how you can start to embrace those digital channels and how you can help your workforce be even more productive with connecting those same tools you offer to agents to every person that is working for your brand out in the field. This is not the end. We're only on day 1. Are you feeling ready for 2 more days? Yeah? All right. So there are some more things that are happening tomorrow morning in the product keynote. You will hear from Sarah Patterson and Karen Van Kirk from Hulu will be on stage to talk about, in a little bit more detail, the new relationship that we're building. We invite you to join us. We've got a booth in the main expo hall, and then upstairs on the 2nd level and south on the mezzanine level, we have a whole experience around the new integrations with Service and Google Contact Center AI, so I encourage you to check that out. And then we have some trails. Again, this is free for anybody who wants to go and sign up, but some interesting trails around how to become an AI trailblazer there's some technology trails and then some general learning around AI. It might be valuable to you for you to take back to your organization. We do have a survey, so let us know if this was relevant. We're always looking to get better.